what's up, guys? Today we have our top 8 safeties. We'll hit you with some honorable mentions too, but we're just going to have a really good conversation today about some of the safeties in this draft. It's kind of one of the better positions at like the top of the draft, so that's kind of the positions we're trying to cover before we run out of time for the draft. Fortunately, me and Isaac are just very busy with like college and work, so we probably won't be able to cover every position, but we're trying to get like some of the more important ones. And in the next week, we will try to cover as many as we can and give you some mock drafts too, hopefully. But yeah, how are you feeling today, bro?
Feeling good. I had a pretty light day for classes. Able to crank out a few more safeties today, and I'm excited to talk some ball and cover one of the better groups in this class. So yeah.
So you want to just get started right away? You want to do like 8 to 4, or do you want to hit us with some honorable mentions first? Actually, why don't you?
Okay. Initially, my list was top 10, but we're just doing top 8. So my 10 is Bud Clark from TCU. And my 9 is Genesis Smith from Arizona. So if you want, we can talk about those right now.
So Smith is actually my 8. So okay. You can talk about Bud Clark because I didn't watch him. And then let's talk about Genesis Smith because he's my 8. You might as well.
All right. Yeah, so Bud Clark, let me pull up his stuff here. So yeah, Bud Clark. I had him as my 10. I kind of thought after Genesis Smith, it kind of dropped off a little bit for me for this class. But Clark is kind of like, he's very interesting for me because he kind of is hit or miss. He had a pretty down year this year comparatively to last year. He makes some amazing plays sometimes, I wrote, and sometimes it's just horrible. Like I'm just watching and like he had a pick 6. I can't remember against what team, but it was like which one?
UNC, was it?
I think it might have been UNC. But yeah, it was like a great read, great play on the ball. I took it all the way to the house, and I'm like, wow, this guy looks great. And then like you watch like some like film of him that's not highlights, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Missing tackles, bad reads. For me, I think he has some upside. He's got good length, good height. He's still like, I don't know, he's getting older, but I mean, maybe there's room for development. He's got a decent RAS score. But yeah, I put him at my 10. He was better than some of the guys like Stroman and Toff and Zakee Wheatley for me. But just like nothing like stood out to me really, like when he has these up and down games. So I threw him at my 10. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for him. Solid.
Yeah,
he'll be a backup.
I mean, and this is where we had this conversation before. Like we were gonna do like top 10 or top 12, but I kind of got to 8, and I was like, these are guys that are going to be like in the 3rd, 4th round. So like how much more, like we haven't even covered like the premier defensive tackles or tackles. So like, do I really want to be scouting 5th round safeties before I scout 1st round DTs, because like, let's be real. Like, what do you think Bud Clark would be? Like maybe a 3rd round pick, probably a 4th round pick.
I currently have him graded as a 4th after going into him a little deeper. I think he could maybe sneak into the 3rd, but I just don't think he's good enough to be a 3rd round pick, especially with his age.
Yeah, I mean, he's 24. He's a solid athlete, like 4'4", 140, 38-inch vert. Like obviously you said that with the RAS, but like he is kind of small. Like I have him 9th percentile weight at 188. Like,
he's undersized in weight. Yep.
But like, yeah, I think he's old, but I mean, like, let's be real. Some of these safeties turn out to be really good. Like, I like Jonas Sanker from last year, and he was taken in like the 4th or 5th round by the Saints, and he was like a solid contributor this year, and like even like a guy like Eamon Wari was probably a top 5 player from the class last year, and he was taken in the 2nd round. So some of these guys do fall. So just because they're in the 4th round, like positional value brings that down a lot for safeties. But yeah, I thought he was just like fine overall. Obviously, I didn't do a super deep dive into him, but like you said, solid player.
This is ups and downs.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Genesis Smith, or is there anybody else you wanted to shout out? Because he's your 9 and he's my 8.
And Zakee Wheatley's just really old.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, like I said, some of these guys like Taff is PFF rank 170. I mean, that's like, what is that? The late 5th round.
Right.
He's 178. Like Cole Wisniewski 200. I mean, I know you like him, but some of these guys are like I was gonna watch VJ Payne. I mean, he's 200th ranked.
I know. I actually did want to watch the world
from these guys, but yeah. So, do you want to talk about Genesis Smith though?
Yeah, let's go into Genesis.
Okay, so Genesis Smith was interesting to me because I don't know about you, but like you like watch some of his stuff and you're like, wow, this guy looks like big. He's big. Like, he really stands on a take because he has this flowy hair.
Yeah.
Like long strides, like crashes down, and then you watch him more and you're like, wait a minute. He can't tackle at all.
Dude, no. the first thing that jumped out to me.
He's like, maybe, I'm so serious, like one of the worst tacklers I've ever seen. Like, he doesn't even tackle. He doesn't. Like,
no, I know.
He has that play where he's running down against Avery Smith, the quarterback for Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he literally just, like, runs past him and, like, shoves him away from him. Like, literally doesn't even, like, he didn't even try to wrap around him. He literally just throws himself at guys. It's so bad. This year alone, he had 18 missed tackles. Like, bro, what? And when he makes tackles, it's almost always, like, with the help of somebody else. And he never can bring guys down. It's kind of funny because I watched, like Kamari Ramsey, Thieneman, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, like, right before him. And these are all guys that are like brick wall, like fucking killers.
Yes.
And this guy is like, he can't hit for anything. Like,
no,
he doesn't.
I know what.
He's not physical at all.
I wrote down that he tackles too high. Like he when he tries to tackle, he just like either shoves the guy or he like grabs him around the shoulders, and it's like it doesn't work. And that's why he has like, I think, 20.5% missed tackle rate, 56 tackle grade. Like, that is brutal, bro.
Yeah.
For a guy that's 6'2", 202, you should not be struggling with tackling, bro.
Yeah, and in 2024, he had a 43.8.
43.8, I know. Like, really bad.
Terrible.
And yeah, he has like 32.5-inch arms. Like, he's pretty athletic, but it's just like, bro, you gotta tackle. Otherwise, you're not gonna do well in the NFL at all. Yeah, and so like that's like he was the last of the safeties I ranked, and it like he definitely has upside because like he's super long, like he's and he's only 21 and a half. Like he has time. Super young. I mean, he's super athletic. He has a 99th percentile vertical, an 89th percentile broad, and a 73 percentile 40. And like I thought he looked like fluid in zone. Like he's a good coverage player. Like he can't tackle. Because of that, his run defense falters like badly, and I actually wonder, it's weird because like he put up 16 reps on bench, like that's not bad or anything, it's a little worse than average, but like his play strength doesn't show at all. Like you would think he's like weak, but like he's not. So I don't know if he just doesn't like have faith in himself. I don't know. Yeah, like, it's really weird. Yeah, for how elite of an athlete is, you think he would be like all over like shooting himself like a missile at these guys, because he's not small either. He's 202 pounds, 6'2". No, I know. He has long arms to wrap. Like, I don't know if he's just scared of it. I don't know. I mean, he's young enough, like, maybe you can teach him to not be, but, like, bro, if you're not physical against Big 12 guys, like, this guy ain't meeting Derrick Henry in the hole, like, or he's getting fucking killed by literally 80% of the backs in the league. Yep. So, I mean, I think you can play him as, like, in obvious passing situations and as a special teamer, but, like, otherwise, I mean, I'd probably take him in like the 4th round. I agree. I think maybe he's a great athlete, but yeah, I think he could maybe sneak into the late 3rd just from his age perspective. Like, there's time for development. And he has good size and athleticism. So if you could teach him how to tackle, I mean, maybe. But like, I don't know. It's just if he hasn't learned how to tackle by this time, I don't know if he's gonna get any better. Yeah, for sure. Well, obviously that was my 8. Do you want me to just go from my 8 to my 4? Yeah, go for it. So 8 was Genesis Smith from Arizona. 7 was Kamari Ramsey out of USC. And 6 was Emmanuel McNeil-Warren from Toledo. And 5 was Jalen Husky from Maryland. Okay. What about you? So yeah, going down my list at 8, I have Kamari Ramsey. Okay. Out of USC. At 7, I have Traden Stukes from Arizona. At 6, I have AJ Halsey from LSU, and at 5, I have Cole Wisniewski from Texas Tech. Okay. You want to talk about Stukes first, because I didn't watch Stukes and I didn't watch Wisniewski. I know enough about them, obviously, that it will be fine, but. That's interesting. There must be. Yeah, you didn't watch Husky, right? I didn't watch Husky. Yeah. Okay, so why don't you talk about him, one of them? I'll talk about Husky, and then you talk about the other that I didn't watch. Sounds good. Yeah, I can start with Stukes. So Stukes, I remember the first thing I wrote down was I started looking at this guy back in January. When he was still ranked in like the 290s by PFF. I thought he was going to be like a really big sleeper. I was just looking at his PFF grade mostly. I hadn't really watched his film. But yeah, he had a 90.1 overall grade in 2025. He had a 90.1 coverage grade, 90.4 And he was really good on on blitzing, solid tackle grade, just kind of solid across the board. He recorded 50 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 interceptions, 6 PBUs in 10 games. But kind of what I saw from him was just he's primarily a slot guy to get out of the way.
Mhm.
Excels in coverage. Did not allow a single touchdown this year. Ball hawked, 4 interceptions, 6 PBUs. Good length as well. 6'1", with 31 3/4 inch arms. Really good athleticism. 4.33 40,
Yeah.
38-inch vertical, and 10 broad. The biggest issue for Trey Stukes is he is very old. Very
Yeah, he's
old.
almost 25.
He will be 25 by the time the year starts. And I did write this
Yeah.
down. He was born on 9/11.
Oh, well, hey, that's something. Maybe the Jets
That's
draft him.
that's definitely something. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But
That is funny how old, like, you put that in perspective. A lot of these guys are, like, born in 05.
And the thing that I did especially like about him is he played well against good comp. He played well against BYU this year. He had an 82.2 overall grade, 85 coverage grade. He had 7 tackles and allowed 1 catch for 16 yards and recorded an interception. And this is against the 12th best team in the nation at the time, I think, if I remember correctly. I can't remember what they were ranked when they played Arizona, but they were definitely ranked. Yeah, he played well against other. I'm trying to remember other games that he had.
Iowa State, it looks like. BYU, he played pretty decent in. Baylor, he played pretty decent in.
There were a few games against good competition where he had like average games, but he never had like a bad game. So I thought that showed out pretty well for him. But yeah, overall, I really like him as a slot guy. I think he's more of a player that like a win now team would pick if they need a slot guy.
Yeah.
Definitely not someone that's going to be developed.
He seems a lot like, why am I blanking on his name? Miami defensive end. Akeem Mesidor. He seems like Akeem Mesidor of his position, where he's like pretty damn athletic, like really good player. I just think like Stukes might be older than Mesidor, or they're kind of the same age, and obviously plays a way more valuable position. And is just better. But the thing with Stukes is it's like, yeah, he's a really good player, and he's like athletic, but he's super old. So like by the time his rookie contract's up, I mean, he's gonna be 29.
Right, he'll be almost 30.
20. And like, unfortunately, he just plays a super kind of like niche position. Like, let's be real, like people when they draft their safeties, they like them to be able to play everywhere, not just kind of like the slot type thing. And I mean, he's not like super big. Like he's 190, so you can't even like, how comfortable are you playing him in the box where he's gonna have to consistently tackle like running backs? You want your safeties like that to be like 210, 215, and he's 20 pounds short of that. So like, I mean, I think that's kind of why he's like falling in rank, not falling, but like where he is, you know, like because a lot of people look at this guy and be like, well, he's a good player, why isn't he like a first or second round pick? But like, he just has a few things that really hold his profile back as a prospect. What was he for you again?
7. No,
7.
He's like Mesidor. That's like exactly correct. He's in a less valuable position, which is why he's farther down PFF's big board. But yeah, he is literally like the Akeem Mesidor of safeties. He's good. He's got plenty of skills, but yeah, just really old, and that's going to limit him for who's going to take him and when. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he gets taken because I actually think he has probably the biggest range of any of these safeties. I think there's.
All right, sorry guys, we just had a quick there's a storm brewing at one of our locations that cut off the Wi-Fi. So
yeah,
we're just talking about Jalen Husky though, correct? Yes, I'm going to talk about Husky. Husky, I watched Husky because I liked him at the beginning of the year, or like a year ago, I mean. Or before the season even started. I thought he was super intriguing as just a prospect overall. And he's kind of like one of those guys where I'm a lot higher on the consensus because I kind of am like, screw the consensus. I like the guys I like.
Yeah.
And he just had a few traits that stand out to me overall. I just want to pull up his thing on PFF. Like, he's had back-to-back very solid years at Maryland. Like in 2024, he had 3 interceptions, and then this year he had 4 interceptions. And like this year he had an 86.9 grade, 82.6 run defense grade, 88.3 coverage grade. Like really solid in kind of everything. You know, like he's played Big Ten competition before he was at Western Michigan, I believe. But like
Boston College. Bowling Green.
Western Michigan. Oh, Bowling Green. Yeah. It was a Midwest team of some sort. But like he's had solid games against like Virginia. I mean, he had a pick 6 against Indiana last year. So like this guy's played legit comp. I thought he triggered on plays like really well. Like he has that instinct where it's like when he sees ball, he like gets ball, like he's there. And like obviously because you see that in his ball production, like he has 8 interceptions in the last 2 years. Like that's pretty damn good. Obviously you see in his run defense grade being very, very high. Like he's super physical and very solid against the run overall. And it's kind of like that sugar ability. Like it doesn't matter if it's a receiver or a tight end or a running back. I just thought he goes down and he handles business, and he does that very well. Like he's a good tackler. He showcases good form. He only had 7 missed tackles last year and 10 missed tackles this year, but he had like 67 tackles this year. So like the missed tackle percentage isn't that bad or anything. And like, let's be real here. This guy's kind of like the only person on Maryland's defense that's actually like good. So he's kind of like a one-man army out there, and he rallied them to like decent defensive performances against some solid teams as like the captain of the defense. And I believe he is a team captain that like everyone like loves, and everyone at Maryland's program says he's like awesome. I thought he had solid length. Like one thing that stood out to me, he has like catcher's mitt hands, which makes sense because he's such a ball hawk. He has 10.25-inch hands. Those are huge.
Wow.
That's like almost like lineman hands. 87th percentile hands. And I mean, the reason that he's kind of like low consensusly is he just doesn't really have the ceiling that a lot of like people want to see in a safety. Like, unfortunately, I don't think he'll ever be like a top 5 safety in the league or anything, because he just kind of lacks like the athletic profile and like the size profile. He's only 6'1", 96. Like that's not small, but it's also not like huge. Like you're probably not comfortable in like a Derwin James role because he's not strong enough or big enough. He is older. I mean, he's like 20. He just turned 23 very recently. I know that's not like super old, but it's also
not
like
too bad.
And he's just an okay athlete. Like 4.55 40 is 56th percentile, 36.5 inch vert, 62nd percentile, 10-1 broad, 51st percentile. He's just like a 50th percentile athlete. And overall, it's like I said, like I just think those two things combined, on top of the fact that like he's a good playmaker, but he's not like an elite playmaker, just kind of limit him. The reason I really liked him is I think he's a super good ceiling or floor player. Like I think you draft him, you get a really solid safety like in your building right away. Like you're not drafting him to be like, you don't expect like an all-pro type thing out of him. Right. And maybe he could be. I mean, I'm not saying like he can't be or anything, but you just don't really project that. But I liked Husky as my 5th safety. Like I'd probably take him back end of the 2nd, sometime in the 3rd. He kind of reminds me of like Jonas Sanker from last year, where it's like the Saints drafted him way later than I thought he should have went, and he was just a solid safety for them all year. Some of these guys just get really undervalued, and I think that this is one of them. So I liked Husky, and I think he's also like something I wanted to see. He's also pretty damn versatile. Like he plays a lot of free safety snaps, a lot of slot snaps, and a lot of in the box snaps. So he can play all over. Like with all that being said, he is like a really high floor player. I could see him going really high. Like honestly, I think he's just kind of underrated right now. But obviously, teams are going to do their homework on this guy, and he could be a draft riser on draft day. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But I like Husky. So.
Yeah,
he was better than that, man. I'm sorry.
Dude, he was like 350 at one point.
He's 250 right now. I just don't get like he's not. I don't really get what else they want to see. Like he can play everywhere. He's good against the run. He's a good tackler. He's good in coverage. He's not a bad athlete. He's not a great athlete, but he's a 50th percentile athlete. Like he's average. Right. And then he's like not super small or anything. Like he has really big hands actually. So it's like. Actually kind of like that about him. And he has a ton of experience. Like he's like a 3-year starter, Big Ten competition. Like I wonder what really is holding him back. I don't get it. Any elite traits, like that's still better than 250. So I don't know.
And that's kind of how I feel about Cole Wisniewski. If you want me to start going to him.
Yeah, you can start with him.
Let me pull up his stuff quick. So he's my 5th safety. So we both had 2 guys that are not consensus top 5 safeties in our top 5, which is cool. But Cole Wisniewski, he is my most underrated safety in this class. He's extremely strong and versatile, hard hitter, sure tackler. He's 6'3", 219 pounds, and he boasts 34.5-inch arms. He has great play recognition and reaction time, good pursuit, on-field speed. I'm not exactly sure what his 40 time is because he didn't run it at his pro day. When I'm watching his tape, he looks solidly fast on the field. And I think the biggest reason he's farther down is because he's 24. But again, we look at Trayden Stooch, and he's higher, and I don't get like why Wisniewski can't be.
You see his injury? Because that's definitely the biggest reason he's
Wisniewski,
yeah. He missed the entire 2024 season with a broken foot.
Yeah, he had a foot issue in 2024.
He came back and had a really, really good season, so obviously it's not like bothering him now. But
right, and that's my thing. I wrote down that he had a foot injury that ended his 2023 season, and he was out for 2024. But he had a great 2025 season, so I don't understand why that would be a problem. But I guess if teams are worried about the fact that he could re-injure that foot, then that would definitely be an issue. Yeah. Overall, he had an 83.9 overall grade, 87.3 run defense grade. He had a 10.6 missed tackle rate, which is a little above average.
Not terrible, though.
0.6 coverage grade. He played 873 total snaps, 455 in free safety, 244 in the box, and 100 in slot. So he played 100 plus snaps in 3 different positions. He has only allowed 1 touchdown in his career, and that was in 2020. And when he was a true freshman at DBUs.
You love to see it. I mean, yeah, I kind of like look at him overall. Like I said, did not do a deep dive like you did, but if you like him, I imagine he's obviously pretty decent. He is elite size, elite length. Good season on Texas Tech. They played big games. Like I'm sure he had a good grade, so he had to have multiple good games against these good teams. Yes, he's old and yes, he's injury prone, but like 200 feels disrespectful. I mean, like it seems like you would take this guy in like the 4th round, 3rd round, maybe even, and it's like that's a top 100 player almost. So why is he 100 spots lower than he probably should be? Like, because I mean, you project this guy as like if he maintains his health and he does not get injured, like this is like an elite tight end shutdown player. Like you can play him and he can shut down like, mismatched players with his length and size. And he can. Yeah, that's. I mean, you're not jumping almost 40 inches if your foot's still bothering you. Be like,
yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You're not playing as good of a season as he did with a hurt foot.
But
yeah, I mean, like if I had to guess, I think it's just cost so many people their jobs that they just don't want to even touch it.
Right.
Like I mean, like honestly, I can't sit here and be like I don't get it when like this is me with non-power 4 prospects. Like if you don't play in the power 4, I don't usually. So like I guess I kind of get that, like it's preference, but it really does seem like the entire league hates players with injuries, even if they are a year or 2 removed from that. But then it's weird because they'll draft Michael Penix at 8 when he was like one of the most injured players literally like of all time. So it's an interesting conversation, but
it's definitely interesting. And it's interesting that like they're so worried about injuries now, especially with the technology we have for recovery and for like if you could recover for an ACL in 8 months.
Like it's not even as bad. And I get that coming back from it is, a different story, but it's the best it's ever been and it's only getting better.
Exactly.
So I don't know. But I agree with you. I'm sure Wisniewski will go higher than he probably is ranked.
I hope so. I'm excited to see where he goes.
Or he'll be a steal, So either way,
if he goes to the Vikings, I'm going to become a hater. But we'll see.
We probably will pick up like a safety, which there's actually a player in this conversation that I'm going to be talking. I think he'd be a really good Viking. But do you want to talk about Kamari Ramsey because he is my 7th and he's my 8th. Okay, talk about Ramsey. So Kamari Ramsey, very, very interesting prospect to me. Let me find him. He's hard to figure out for me because a lot of like what he does is like canceled out by one of his weaknesses, if that kind of makes sense. I said one thing he's super good at is like he violently crashes down on like short range plays. Anything kind of like behind the line of scrimmage to like 5 yards past it, he's like elite in, right? But like unfortunately for him, like he can crash down well, but the rest of his run defense is like not that good. So like, like he triggers on some of these plays, but then like you're not comfortable sticking him in the box 24/7 because he's going to be a liability for the rest of the run game. And then I was like, okay, he was used in college to like neutralize opposing teams' tight ends. And he did it really well in college. But, like he lacks size and length to do it in the NFL, where it's like if he's playing against these like 6'5" tight ends and he's 6 foot and has 27th percentile arms, like he can't do that. Like, sorry, it's just not going to be his thing. And then like I thought he had like super high IQ and he can play everywhere, but he has literally zero on ball production. Like he had one interception in 2024 and no interceptions this year. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, like you have high IQ, but you're never where you need to be and you're never making plays on the ball. So it's like what it's like he's good at something, but then something that like you also need to be good at to be like elite at that, he's like bad in. So then it like cancels itself out. And he also just had like a really bad injury in like a really bad knee injury. And
Yeah.
all these things together just make me think like what like he's just so hard to figure out. Like what are you drafting him to do? That's kind of my thing. Like I don't really know
Right.
what his role is.
I totally agree because I wrote down that he plays well in the box and slot, but he doesn't have the size to do that in the NFL. Like I just don't think he's going to be able to lock down a tight end at 6 foot,
No.
202 pounds. Like it just doesn't seem like something that he's going to be able to do. And he's great at tackling, but is he going to be able to? Again, is he going to be able to tackle big tight ends or running backs who are NFL caliber, not Big Ten caliber? So
There's a difference. Yeah.
for sure there's a difference. And yeah, he's just like he's a pretty average athlete. I mean, he ran a 4.47. Yeah. He had a 36-inch vert, which is solid, 10-foot broad, 15 reps of bench. Like it's all solid, but I mean, like nothing stands out to me.
Yeah.
Like he just seems like he's gonna be like a solid player in like the third or fourth round. Yeah.
Like the way I said is it's like so right now I have no idea. Like I was trying to think like, man, what team would love Kamari Ramsey? I couldn't really think of one to be honest, because he like I don't really know what he's gonna do at the next level, just straight up.
Right.
But like what I said is he's young enough where I think a team could draft him in like probably like the 4th round, because obviously there's going to be a team that like has a role for him or thinks he can do something for them. And like he probably sits for a year, recovers from his injury, and maybe learns a little more. Like maybe they put some weight on him and try and make him a better athlete too, and then he could actually be like more of a box safety. But like it sucks because I was thinking like, yeah, I would want to play him as like a deep box safety because I don't think he can play against tight ends like he did in college. But then it's just like, dude, his run defense is not good enough. And he's also not big enough. Like I don't know if I want him to be like that deep box safety for me, like who's consistently tackling the running back when he's only 202 pounds. So I don't know. The injury also is not great, like at all.
No.
I know we were just saying like, why do you care about injuries, but it's so much more recent, and it did affect his season in play, and it's like a knee injury. Like that's not great for a safety.
What exactly was the injury? I just thought it was a knee injury.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like an ACL. I don't
was
think
it like a strain?
But I think he was out for right knee injury. He also missed 3 games in 2024 and 2023 due to an unspecified injury. So like he's always just kind of been injury prone. I don't know. I can't see anything. No, it just says it's a knee injury. So that's what we don't even know how bad it is. And usually when they don't say it, it's because it's pretty bad.
Right. Yeah.
Like I imagine it was probably like a torn PCL. I don't think it was an ACL, but it's probably like an PCL or meniscus tear or something, and that's not great. But like I said, he's young enough that I think if like a team drafts him and kind of doesn't expect a ton from him, that's just the problem though. It's like when you can't expect a ton from a player like this, and then you also don't know where he's going to play role wise, it's like if he falls far, I wouldn't be surprised. Those are just 2 things that they're not a good combo to have in terms of a profile and a prospect.
Right. No, I know. I agree. I kind of think there's a huge drop off for me after my 6th safety. Like it just kind of drops off a lot. Like Kamari Ramsey and Genesis Smith and like all those guys are kind of in a different tier.
He's the drop off for me because the guy right in front of him, I actually like and think could be a good player, but like Ramsey is the guy right after that, and I'm like, yeah, there's definitely a big teardrop here because
that's what I mean.
Emmanuel McNeil-Warren.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Ramsey is that first guy that's off the like he's kind of dropping off.
Like the way I look at it is, if he went in the 2nd round, I'd be floored.
Yeah.
But like if Emmanuel McNeil-Warren went in the 2nd round, I mean he could be good in the 1st round.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised at all. But yeah, there is that tier drop off. So obviously, I talked about all the guys in my 5 to 8 outside of Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Was there anybody that you didn't?
Did not talk about AJ Halsey, who's my 6th.
Okay, where's Emmanuel McNeil-Warren for you?
3.
Okay, AJ Halsey is, I think, 3 for me. So who do you want to talk about first? Because this is like the same exact thing. We're just swapped on them. Warren more. I like Halsey more. Do you want to talk about True. Which, yeah, he shouldn't be. I think he's pretty decent. I mean, obviously, I had him where I had him. But I'll be honest, because I'm the higher guy on Halsey, so I'll talk about him. Let me just pull his thing up really quick. There is a huge tier drop off for me. Like, I know he's 3, but like 2 and 1 for me are like way better than he is. I still like Halsey a ton, but I just want to preface that like there's a big tier, like kind of like the tier drop that we just said with Ramsey. There's like maybe even 2 tiers between him and my 1 and 2, and I'm sure it's kind of the same for you with Emmanuel McGuire. I bet we have the same
definitely.
1 and 2. But yeah, Halsey, from 2023 2024, he was at Houston. Pretty solid player, average of a 74.9 grade. Like, he's fine. In those 2 years, though, he had 5 interceptions and 9 PBUs. And then this year, he transferred to LSU and had 3 interceptions and 4 PBUs. This guy's a great ball hawk. That's like what he does. I see him consistently mocked to the Jets. Like Connor Rogers, big Jets fan on that podcast I watched, NFLSC. He loves them, the Jets drafting Halsey at pick 33 because they didn't have interception. Rory McIlroy has won 2 Masters since the Jets.
That, bro. That is actually insane.
They need a ball hawking DB, and it's this guy. I obviously the reason for this. He is great in zone, super high IQ, and he has a really really good reaction time. He'll kind of a player will zig one way and then zag the other way. He's on him, man, or he'll be playing that single high, and he's where he needs to be all the time. You can see this guy is super smart and is super good IQ, and that's why he gets all these plays to go his way. He's a super patient processor too. That's why that's why he's always where he needs to be. He doesn't really fall for fakes or anything. He sniffs out stuff really, really well, and he's just super patient in that aspect. And I thought he was a really good run defender, honestly, super physical, hits a brick wall. When guys run into him, they stop in their tracks. So I like that about him because it's
he's very dense, because he's 6 foot. So
he has 15 pounds on all these guys that we just talked about, and then he's not an inch smaller. So yeah, he is built a lot better, I guess you could say. And then he's also pretty young. He'll be 22 and a half. And then I also thought something that was really good about him. He had great sideline range and speed. He is literally all over the field. Wherever you need him to be, he will be, and he's good enough against the run and the pass game that that's just a really good combo to have. Unfortunately, he is not a great tackler. His man ability is kind of weak. Playing him in man coverage against quicker, shiftier receivers doesn't really go well. The thing for him is he doesn't really have to do that. He kind of always plays middle of the field deep. So I don't really know why you would expect him to do that, but some schemes do have their safeties do that. So that is potentially a problem. And then I just said he lacks elite athleticism and speed overall. I think his ceiling's kind of capped as you want him to be this elite ball hawk, but I don't think he'll ever be a super elite ball hawk at the NFL just because he's not fast, not he doesn't have the lateral agility that you want. And then he's only 6 foot. He's not gonna be a tight end mismatch coverage player or anything. He has 45th percentile hands, 32nd percentile arms. So it's that does kind of worry you a little bit if that's what you're drafting him to be. Where do you kind of draft this guy if those things don't work out, because you do need them for an elite ball hawking type guy. But I would say Halsey for me is probably a mid-second round player. I'd probably take him at 40 to 50. If the Vikings picked him up with I think we have our second round pick. If we picked him up with our second round pick, I'd be fine. But I kind of see him sneaking into very, very 33 to the Jets. I kind of get it because he is a great fit on the Jets, but that's a little rich for me, to be honest. So what did you think about him? Because you're obviously a little low on him. I'm sure you just think some of these weaknesses are worse than
I do want to preface, like you said, my 3 through 6 are all second to early third rounders, so they're all relatively close. The first 2 for me obviously are much higher. I think those are the only 2 first round talents in safety. And the other the 3 through 6 for me are all relatively close to each other.
They're all within 20 to 30 picks on my big board. Yeah, they're not that far off.
But Halsey, he, like you said, he's a ball hawk. He had good games against Alabama, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. So great against good competition. But yeah, my biggest things for him are his length is really bad, which I don't know if that's going to translate in the NFL, especially when you only ran a 4.52. His overall speed isn't the greatest. Like you said, he has good sideline to sideline speed. I would like to see his overall speed be a little bit better.
Especially in a little bit.
especially because he doesn't have that length. What else? Yeah, I think my biggest thing was his length and his speed and his missed tackles. I think that's kind of why I had
Yeah.
him a little bit lower.
16 missed this year is not great.
Yeah, 15.8% missed tackle rate.
Yeah.
He did have 0 penalties, which is good. Played 640 plus snaps in all 4 years of his college career, which is also good to see. He has a lot of experience for only being 22.2. So, like I said, he's my sixth, but he's a good player. I think he should get taken back into the second to early third. He definitely has that upside of being a ball hawk. I just don't see him having the ceiling, especially with his length and his speed, as some of the other guys. But we'll see. I think 3 through 6, like those could kind of go any direction. Like they could jump up for the draft, they could fall down. But we'll see. I'm excited to see where Halsey goes. I've seen him mock to the Vikings, like you said. I've seen him mock to the Jets, but it'll be interesting. So.
Yeah, and I think honestly for me, something I've realized, safety is one of those positions where think of every safety in the NFL that's like elite. I mean, like Kyle Hamilton, Derwin James. I mean, I can't think of any names right now because it's just like later. I mean, who Chip, like Nick Warrior, they're all built like they're made from a lab. They all have elite size, elite
they're
length,
like really athletic,
and then they're all super athletic. Like Derwin James, Nick Warrior, Kyle Hamilton were all like specimens. So it's kind of hard for me to see a guy who doesn't have length and doesn't have elite athleticism, and it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be better than Kyle Hamilton or Derwin James, when it's like, skill-wise, you're probably not, and then build-wise, you'll never be. So it's like, how high do you... Oh, Antoine Winfield Jr., I get he doesn't have the best build, but he's just so damn good. But even Antoine Winfield Jr. fell to the second round. But, like, you see what I mean? Like, these safeties that go super high usually are built like freaks, which is funny, because both of our number one safety is not uber athletic or really typically big.
It's actually interesting.
He's just so damn good.
He's just,
But that's kind of funny. But no, it is. That's kind of the conversation with Halsey, is he just lacks a lot of like what NFL teams like drool over when it comes to safety prospects. So do you want to talk about Emmanuel McNeil Warren?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I was the one that was lower on him, which is funny because he gets mocked to the Vikings more than virtually any player, I think, at this point. I mean, I don't really see... I'm trying to think. There's really no one else. But I'll let you talk about him. I have a lot to chip in with him, to be honest. But, yeah, you can start with him.
Yeah, I like Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He's physical, excels in coverage and stripping the ball. He's a hard hitter and really strong. He's hard to escape. Forces lots of turnovers. He had 2 interceptions. He forced 2 fumbles this year. He had a pick 6 as well. He has a feisty attitude, relentless after the snap. I really like his length. He's 6'3 and a half, 32 and an eighth inch arms. He had a 35.5-inch vert, which is not great, but overall 9.13 RAS, solidly athletic. He had a 91.9 overall grade, 92 coverage grade. He allowed 6 receptions for 116 yards and a touchdown this last year. Since 2024, he's had 12 interceptions / PBUs and 11 forced fumbles in 3 years, which I think is actually insane. Overall, his missed tackle rate was a little bit higher than you'd like this year. Last year was pretty good, but this year it jumped up to 15.5%. And he also allowed 19.3 yards per reception, which is not great. But he only allowed 6 receptions, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not that horrible. But still, you'd like to see that improve a little bit. He's also pretty versatile. 57% of his snaps in the box, 30% of his snaps in free safety out of his 700 snaps. And I wrote down that he had as many pick sixes as touchdowns in 2025 because I think that's interesting. Overall, my biggest thing with these safeties is I really like when they have good length. And you've probably noticed that. I think it's really important, especially when you're playing like the box or slot. Like when you're trying to tackle these big tight ends or running backs, like when you have length, you're going to be able to wrap up easier. So overall, I just liked Emmanuel McNeil and Warren from that sense, especially with his turnover abilities. But yeah, I'd like to hear what you have.
So I'll start this by saying, guess why I don't like him? I feel like it's pretty obvious. It's honestly, I think the worst part of his profile is why I don't like him, and it's I genuinely don't.
Is it because
don't like players like this?
Is it because he's in a weaker conference?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not draft players that are really, really terrible athletes, and I don't like players that don't play in Power 4. I just don't get like the step up. I mean, the best team he's ever played in his career was Kentucky, and he had a great game, but like Kentucky is one of the worst Power 4 teams.
Right.
Like, they're not that good.
Mm.
Like, I mean, yeah, he has 10 or 11 forced fumbles or whatever it is. It's like, dude, you're playing week to week West Kentucky and Akron.
That is true.
Like, I mean, like, let's be real. The entire MAC combined probably has like what 4 to 5 guys get drafted every year. And like usually one of them is like a top 100 pick. The rest are like day 3 guys that get cut right away or are kind of like practice squad players. Like, dude, he is going from playing no one, literally nobody's. Like, he has not played a NFL wide receiver in his career to now he's going to go play against NFL or a running back, or you know what I mean? Now he's going up against all these guys. And it's like, I agree. A lot of what you said about why you liked him is the same reasons I like him. Like, I kind of think the same thing about him. Like, I think he's a solid player. I think he's really good. He's super young. He's a good athlete. He has elite length, like uber productive. Like, the fact that he is in a weaker conference, at least he's like obviously the best player on the field. But like, dude, I just am like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, there's guys around him, like Halsey, for instance, I don't think is that much worse. And he plays at LSU. He's playing against Alabama and like all these other SEC teams. And it's like, bro, why would you ever take Emmanuel McNeil Warren over like Halsey when it's like, that's just kind of how I view it. Like, I get Warren has like the length and everything, but like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, the way I look at it is it's like, okay, if AJ Halsey has like a good season in the SEC, like he's probably playing 10 times better if you put him in Emmanuel McNeil Warren's position, like straight up. So I don't know. Like, he's a great player, like good athlete, great at forcing fumbles, super physical. He is like a brick wall, literally. Like, man, he hits dudes like a demon. But like, if the Vikings drafted him at 18, I would probably be like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I'm sorry, but I do not think he's I would probably take him at the very end of the second round because he's such a. I can't put my faith in these players.
I totally agree that I don't think he's a first rounder. I think he probably should go early to mid second.
Like, some of these guys just straight up prove me wrong. Like, Quinyon Mitchell came from the same team and he's like literally one of the best corners in the NFL. I get it. Like, I get wrong with this. That tackle from who was a tackle from North Dakota State last year? He's on the Seahawks. Gray Zabel. Like, he was a good player this year. So, like, I get that. But, like, dude, there's so many instances where it's like Khalil Mack went to Buffalo. But it's just, like, overall, like, the way I look at it is of the top 150 players, probably 70% of them have good builds and good athleticism, and then 85% of them play in the Power Four. So that's, like, 65 to 70% of the total players in the top 150 have solid size, solid athleticism, and played in the Power Four. I'm just going to draft those guys over these other guys every day of the week. Sorry, they're just safer picks. And sometimes even have better ceilings too, because they actually play against like, they're going to have like higher IQ because they're forced to play against like more complicated schemes and everything. I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, AJ Halsey has to go up against like Ryan Grubb, who was like an NFL coordinator 2 years ago. I can't even name a single notable coach that Emmanuel McNeil Warren had to face like in the MAC. Like, do you know the coach of Western Kentucky or Akron or Northern Illinois? Like, I don't. Like, none of these guys are going to show you anything like really crazy. But then you go to the NFL, it's like Ryan Grubb wasn't even good enough in the NFL. Now he's on Alabama, one of the better college teams. So it's like, there's just so many things that worry me. He's a good player, and like, I hope he proves me wrong. And if he does go to the Vikings, I especially hope he proves me wrong. It's such a big step up. Like, Akron to the NFL or Toledo to the NFL is like,
it definitely is.
Like, it's just so big, and I just don't like doing that. So that's why he's lower than me. I definitely think for me, I have Husky over him. I have Kilgore over him. I have like Halsey. This guy's ceiling is like higher or same to most of these guys over him. I just think it's so much harder for that to translate to the next level. That's why I'm lower. I think he's so much of his ceiling is so much lower than a lot of these other guys.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty much on the same wavelength for him. I think I'm just valuing his length and his ceiling more, which is fair. Like, I think the fact that he's from Toledo is definitely an issue because, like, he hasn't played, like you said, he hasn't played any of those guys that are going to be in the NFL or are NFL caliber. So that's definitely an issue. We'll see if he is able to translate his play to the NFL. I'm excited to see what happens with him. But yeah, it's definitely a concern that he hasn't really played anyone. But yeah, like I said, we'll see.
All right, so I know we talked about your third player and my third player, but you want to just read our fourth now?
Well, we have the same four.
Wow. Yeah. So Kilgore is both of our fours. My third was AJ Halsey. Your third was Emmanuel McNeil Warren. And then I imagine both of our seconds are Dylan Thieneman, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, okay, I was going to say, because Thieneman's not even in your top 8. That's kind of crazy. I could see him not being your second, but just not even your top 8. But
I was going to say Thienemann's my 1 and troll you, but
that wouldn't even be that ridiculous.
No, it actually wouldn't.
I obviously still think Caleb Downs is way better, but like if someone said that to me, I wouldn't be like, you're insane. Like I would be like, okay, I kind of see it. But then yes, we both have Caleb Downs out of Ohio State as our number 1. So do you want to talk about Kilgore, because that's cool? We both have him at 4.
Well, we can just go through this in order now. We can just do Kilgore and then Thienemann and then Downs.
Yes. Kilgore, do you want to start with him? I want to start with him. I want to start with the sentence I have. And I said my 1-sentence description of Jalen Kilgore, I think he's just a slightly worse Nick Emmanwori clone, which is like still really, really good because Nick Emmanwori was like a top 5 player last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's funny because they kind of are like the same player, same team, same role, both elite athletes. I mean, he's a 997 RAS.
Yeah, he's really
but like, and both of their weaknesses are kind of the same thing. So, it's funny. Do you want me to just talk about him?
Hey, you talk about it because I just talked about McNeil Warren, so you go for it and I'll chime in.
So Kilgore kind of had a extensive career at South Carolina. Like he was a prominent starter from 2023 to 2025. And it's funny because he played the exact same role as Emmanwori.
Emmanwori, yeah.
And just pretty much took over for him this year. But he literally, it's funny how much of clones they are.
They literally are the same player.
What I said, though, is Emmanwori was just a better athlete and was bigger. I think Emmanwori's like 6'3", 6'4", so he has...
Emmanwori's bigger, yeah.
He's like 5 pounds heavier, and then he's literally like faster, longer. Like he had a 10 RAS. He was the most athletic safety ever. And he was about the same age, 21. He is, great size, great length, athleticism, 4'4", 40, 37-inch vert, 10'10" broad. He's a great run defender. You're really going to play this guy in the slot, in the box, kind of that like nickel position. Some people think he's a corner. Some people think he's a safety. He is like that really weird, like South Carolina schemed hybrid player. He's a solid tackler, like super strong, super feisty. And I thought he had really great jam and press technique, like that plays into his feistiness. The thing with Kilgore is like you look at this profile, you're like, damn, like a 3-year starter, super good athlete, really good graded out. Like, why is he your guys' 4? Why is he like a 3rd to 2nd round pick? Well, he can't really play man coverage, which kind of sucks if you're playing him in the slot and in the box. Like, that's not great. He kind of struggles against, like, shiftier receivers, which is weird because he has the athleticism. But, like, when he's lined up against these, like, smaller, shiftier guys, he kind of gets lost. And he's just not really that sticky of a player. You can tell he kind of likes to be a lot more physical. Like, I think this guy would rather just play the run, like, every play than play any coverage snaps. And then he also, due to this, like, scheme at South Carolina, he doesn't really play anything deep. Like, it's rare to see him pass 10 yards. And the conversation with Kilgore is the exact same conversation with Emmanwori, in that it's, well, Emmanwori's a great player, but where's he going to play in the NFL? Because this is a super niche role. And the funny thing is I think that Kilgore is really, really, his stock is hurt from Nick Emmanwori, because, like, if the Seahawks didn't draft Emmanwori, they're looking at this guy like, this guy's perfect for our system.
Right.
Because the Seahawks are, like, that one team that, like, this is their scheme. But now they don't need this player because they have Emmanwori. And it's already such a niche, like, schemes and skill set that he plays in that it's like, well, where's he going to play now? Like, legitimately. And what's funny to me is Emmanwori was a way better player and a way better athlete. And he fell to the 2nd round.
Right.
And he also filled that role now of the team that needed this role the most. So, like, there's less spots for Kilgore to play in the NFL, and he's a worse player. So, like, that just makes me think he's going to be, like, a 3rd-round pick because what he's good at is just so niche. Like, people don't really need this type of safety and then never need him to drop back. Like, no, they like these types of players that can also play deep as well, or can play in the slot and line up against quick receivers. So it's like, I just don't, kind of like Ramsey, I just don't know what his role is.
Yeah.
Like, he's really, really good at his role, but it's just like a very niche role. He's still a great player. And I mean, like, obviously I have him 4th because Emmanwori fell. This is the same reason that everyone didn't like Emmanwori, but I liked Emmanwori and I was like, why? He's going to be a great player. But I guess, like, what do you think? Do you kind of think the same thing? Like, do you like something or not like something differently? You know, I want to hear what you have to say.
So, yeah, I just said that, like, he was really feisty and fiery, which I really liked off the bat. Like, I was watching his tape, and that dude gets fired up. Really like that. Brings energy and speed to the South Carolina defense. Very solid across all measurements. He's a good tackler, run defender, solid in coverage. Played heavy snaps all 3 years of college, and has always been pretty reliable in his role. I said he gets burnt at times, like you said. Not
Yeah.
amazing in man. He's also not great at playing off blocks for his size and his weight. Man, he has average transition speed off route breaks, like you said. Like he's just like
Yeah, he's not sticky.
he just struggles to stay on guys, and that was especially clear. Like I watched him play against Casey Concepcion, which is a good matchup. Like because he's going to be
He's
NFL, and he was getting burnt. There was one play where he had Concepcion's number, and he made a good play, but Concepcion for the most part outplayed him, which was kind of worrying.
Well, the thing is Concepcion's the exact type of player that Kilgore's going to be matched up against in the NFL all the time.
Exactly.
The role he plays. And it's like if Concepcion kind of burned him, and I'm way higher on Concepcion than a lot of people, but like there's like 10 Concepcion skill-wise in the NFL. So it's like every other week he's going to be facing a guy like this.
Right.
And if you can't play sticky man coverage in the slot, like you're going to be you're going to have super limited snaps or you're going to have to learn it real quick. Well, he's still a 997 RIS. He is a
997 RIS. He almost has 33-inch arms. He's 210 pounds, so he's very like bulky and has good length. 4.4 40, like you said, 37-inch vert, 10-10 broad. Like that's all really good. 16 reps of bench. So he's strong. He's fast. Good jumping ability. It's just the issue is his tape shows that he can't really play in coverage. And as a slot guy, you need to be able to play in coverage. So definitely whoever takes him is going to use him in a developmental role.
I'm so interested where he goes.
I'm really interested. Like you said, dude, I think he'll probably be like a third, maybe a fourth round pick. Like just based off the fact that like people aren't gonna like his tape as much as some of these other guys.
Yeah, which is funny because he's both of our fours, but like the guys below him on my list, I could see going higher than him just because they can do more.
Right. Exactly. I totally agree. I think Halsey could go over him. I think Ramsey could go over him. But yeah, I think he's just has a higher ceiling. And
oh yeah. It's weird to me because it's like, dude, he has all the juice in the world. I don't get like why he's not good at he has 3 years of experience and he's super twitchy. Like it's not like he's lacking his speed or anything.
He's super athletic, but like I'm watching him get absolutely fried by Casey Concepcion, and it's like
skill set thing. I honestly think it's South Carolina's scheme. I like South Carolina. They're probably like one of my top 3 college football teams. I like a lot of the guys that come out of there. And they're kind of a disaster this year, honestly.
Oh, yeah, they were not good.
And like people said the same thing about Eamon Worry, and then Eamon Worry went to a team that liked him, and the team that drafts him is going to end up liking him, like obviously. So I think he'll be fine. Like I think we maybe are overthinking it a little. I'm sure like Eamon Worry instantly became way better, like because that was an issue with him too, and he was like fine in the NFL with it.
Right.
I kind of think it might be the same thing because they literally are like almost the same exact player.
They literally are like. He's a clone.
But like, dude, it is just weird. But he's my 4 because I think he easily could learn how to do it.
I think he definitely has the skill, and he has the time as well. Like I said, he's 21.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we're looking at dudes in this class that are 24, turning 25, and this dude is 4 years younger.
To learn this.
Like, bro.
No, sure. Like you're telling me he doesn't stay at college for 2 more years. You don't think he gets better in man?
Right.
Like, yeah, I agree.
And now he'll have NFL coaching. Like.
Oh, exactly. And he won't be limited to South Carolina's scheme that keeps him like this. I think the reason he's weak at this is because South Carolina's scheme kind of makes him look worse than he is in that sense. I do think that. But the thing for me that's really fascinating, like I said, is like I could see him being like a top 35 pick, like honestly. If a team falls in love with him, I mean, he has the athleticism, he has the size, and then he's an SEC player. Like he could kind of be like Eamon Worry, but like for me, it's like I agree he could also fall really far because like his skill set is kind of niche. So like his range is legitimately one of the biggest in the class. Like, and I'm just like I'm excited to see where he's the guy I think could be an elite Viking. By the way, I think if you put him in Flores' defense where they like blitz him and like kind of like use him in that Eamon Worry role, dude, I think he'd be a monster, bro. And I like South Carolina guys. Like I'm a big fan of South Carolina guys. I like Kilgore a ton. I'm like, I think he would be, we kind of need that. We kind of need that like nickel slot safety position. Obviously he can't play super deep, but like if anyone can teach him, it's Brian Flores, let's be real. And Kevin O'Connell.
I would be so upset, bro. I would be so upset.
Yeah.
Dude, I like how like I would literally be upset because you guys are gonna take one of these guys and I'm gonna be upset with whichever one you take, bro.
If I genuinely think this is the first year we don't have like terrorist Kwesi holding hostage of our draft picks, and Rob Brzezinski, our like interim GM, who I actually just hope we keep because he had a really solid free agency with all the money he negotiated and freed up. If he kills this draft, man, like there will be an elite player at our pick. Like, that's what I was talking to my dad. I was like, the Vikings really can't mess this up. Like, for me, the biggest way they could mess this up would if they drafted Emmanuel McNorton, but I just don't like him. Obviously, if they draft him there, they probably think he's way better than I do and think they can work with him. Dude, like,
Now,
we can't mess this up.
It's more of like a positional value because if you got Emmanuel McNorton at your second round pick, that would be great. Like, I feel like that would be
love that.
But if you take him at 18, it's like there's probably better players on the board.
I would rather have us take like Peter Woods because we need another interior guy. I mean, I know Jalen Redmond just signed his tender, but I would rather have us take like Thieneman. I think Thieneman could be there. I think he probably will be there. I would love the Thieneman. I mean, he's.
I think if he gets past like the Bengals and I don't even know what other team. I
Dolphins maybe.
Maybe the Dolphins, yeah. If he gets past like
Cowboys,
the top
maybe
12, I think he probably falls to you.
Probably, hopefully. I mean, like I said, we can't mess this pick up. But do you want to go into Thieneman right now?
Yeah. Speaking of Thieneman, let's talk about him.
So Thieneman, you can talk about him because I talked a lot about Kilgore.
Sure. Yeah. So Dylan Thieneman, I mean, this was a guy that was he's kind of risen up draft boards more recently. He was at one point like in the 30s, 40s on PFF. Now he's top 20.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like, pretty reasonable for him. He has excellent play recognition and ball hawk skills. Great safety blanket and helps corners a ton in coverage. I mean, he was making a huge difference at Oregon.
Yeah.
Strong hard hitter, makes great open field plays, holds excellent pursuit ability. He's predominantly box, but he did play mostly free safety at Purdue, and he was able to transition to box, which is a good sign. Great athleticism, great pass breakup skills and moves, physical at the point of attack. The only things I had for him that I didn't really like was he's pretty average size, and then
he is.
He's pretty average at tackling against bigger bodies as well, and average change of direction as well. But this season he had 99 total tackles, 2 interceptions, 4 PBUs. He's 6 foot, 201 pounds, 31 and 3/8-inch arms. He ran a 4.35 40. Go white boy, go! Good lord.
Yeah.
41-inch vertical, which is insane.
He's twitched up. Yeah.
And this is a twitched up white boy. Like, he is nuts. And he only had an 8.3% missed tackle rate, which is really good. And then he played 930 snaps, which he has plenty of experience for the NFL. Overall, this dude he's NFL ready. You can put him in at box. You can put him in at free safety. You could probably even play him in the slot, and he'd do fine. Overall, I think he's a very safe pick, and he's one of 2 safeties that I think should go in the first round.
Yeah, so I like guys that good athletes. I like guys that play against high-level competition, like takeover games. They have like alpha games. But another really underrated trait that I really like in guys is when they ball out as freshmen and like their first season starting. Because one thing I can look at in you is that you went from high school to essentially, like, jokingly, like the big leagues, and you were still that guy. You were a dog day one. So I have all the faith in the world that if you did that from high school to college, you can do that to college to the NFL.
For sure.
Like, Casey Concepcion was a freshman All-American. He was my second receiver off the board. Jordan Tyson was a dog at Colorado, like, right away. Thieneman was, like, literally a unanimous consensus freshman All-American, like, halfway through the season at Purdue. Like, that shit was, like, wrote in. Like, everyone knew that was going to be a thing. Thieneman was a dog, and he has been really good all 3 years of college. His 2024 season was kind of weak. Purdue was, like, garbage, and they didn't play him where they should have. It wasn't really his fault, and even still, he was, like, fine. But then, obviously, he transfers up to Oregon and plays, like, big games. Like, he had a really good game against Texas Tech in the college football playoff.
Yep.
This guy was the captain of Purdue's defense, a Big Ten defense, as a freshman, like at 18 years old. So like,
it's nuts.
I have no doubt that he can handle the pressure and that he's a dog, like mentality wise. And then he's also an elite athlete, 967 RAS, 8th percentile, 97th percentile vert. I think he has elite coverage instincts. Like, he's smart as hell, and you have to be the captain of a defense as a freshman. Super fluid movements, like all over the field, laterally, back pedal, super good. Just footwork in general, like silky smooth. I mean, he's sticky on guys. His clothing speed is like ridiculous. Like, my God, he might be like the hardest hitting safety.
No, I know. I agree. I watched this tape, and
dude.
The first thing I noticed is how quickly he recognizes the play, and then secondly, how quick he gets there and how hard he hits. It's really crazy.
And like he's great against the run too. His closing speed is really, really solid. I just said that though. He's also super versatile. Like he plays in the box, he plays in the slot. He specializes in that single high where, you know, you just kind of let him like analyze what's happening and he's there. He has elite IQ, he has elite closing speed. And he's super young. Like, he's not even 22 yet. So it's like, dude, you think he probably comfortable putting some weight on him, probably only gets better as an athlete, and probably only gets smarter. Like, dude's a dog. And I believe, like, his mentality is that of a dog. Like, I think everyone at Oregon and Purdue raved about him, like, first guy in. Like, honestly, jokingly, that, like, lunchbox mentality white boy who, like, genuinely is like, I'm the first guy in, last guy out type thing. Unfortunately for Thieneman, like he does have a small build, like you said, 6', 201, and he can struggle against play action. Like he wants to take your head off so bad against the run that he kind of triggers when he shouldn't, and then he doesn't really get beat deep a ton, but he kind of isn't in like an elite spot a lot of the times, and it's like that might burn him in the NFL. But I mean, yeah, he's so good at what he does that like he's still a top 20 player easily. Like he's probably going to be around 18, 19, 20 for me when it's all said and done. Because he just kind of does lack the prototypical size and length. But man, he's smart as hell. If the Vikings took him at 18, I'd be like, yep, Harrison Smith replacement.
No, literally. Actually, honestly, I think I do have a comparison for him and Harrison Smith.
I mean, they're both white, so like obviously that's like the joke. But like for real though, I mean, he would fit right in. If he's our safety for the next 5 years or whatever it is, 2 contracts, like dude, I'm cool with that. And our defense is low-key atrocious. We need young talent on it. Like Ryan Flores has been carrying a way worse roster to way better results than it should be. So this guy would be, I don't know if Harrison Smith's going to retire or not. Like that's still up in the air. But even if he kind of just plays a role that he's not like really, really comfortable with year 1 and then switches to that year 2 and Harrison Smith does retire, still drafting him at 18. This would probably be like, I can't think, it would, if I could pick one of 2 players at the Vikings spot, it would probably be him or Peter Woods. And I like Thieneman more than Peter Woods, but I think Peter Woods plays a more valuable position. So whoever's available, honestly. But yeah, let's hear. You said you had something comparing them the 2.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Yeah. So it's that obviously coming out of, where is it? I just lost it. Coming out of Notre Dame, I think Harrison Smith was a little bit more like freakish for his size.
Yeah, he was.
But it's still interesting to look at. They had pretty similar arm lengths. I think Harrison Smith had 2 inches on him and 12 pounds. So Harrison Smith was bigger, but I feel like they play pretty similarly. Hard hitting, very smart. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Thieneman can kind of step into like a Harrison Smith role, especially if he gets drafted by the Vikings. But yeah, I'm excited to see where he goes, as long as it's not to the Vikings. If he goes to the Vikings, I'll be really sad.
I also think Thieneman's range is bigger than a lot of people think, because like a lot of people who follow PFF, which is like us, like PFF is the highest on Thieneman in the entire industry. Like some people think this dude is like 50th to 60th on like big board wise, which I think is crazy. But like,
I agree.
Like Peter Schrager's new mock draft, he's not even in the first round. And like, let's be real, like that just happens to safeties sometimes. Like even Worry was a top 5 player in the draft last year, and he fell to like 36. He fell out of the first round. Someone had to trade up to get him. So like, can happen. Like Caleb Downs is debatably the best player in the draft, and he could go as late as 12.
Yep.
So like this just happens to safeties. I think his range is super interesting, but if you as a team love him or are able to take a safety, like kind of a little bit of a luxury pick, I think you're gonna love the player. I'll be interested to see where he goes draft day. I definitively think he is a day 1 player, but I could see him falling to like 30 to 40 in that range.
Right.
But whoever gets him, man, right away, plug and play Elise.
Yeah, he'll be a dog. He'll be a dog right away. Yeah.
But yeah, is it time for
Mr. Downs?
1, Mr. Downs?
I think it is.
Caleb Downs. I don't know where he is for you. I think he's 3rd on my big board. Like 1, 2, and 3 are like tied for me essentially. Like they all are. Like yeah, it's Sonny Styles is my 1, Bain is my 2, and Downs is my 3. They are all like one day I could have Downs as my 1 day I could have Downs as my 3, but like I just kind of like the 2 guys above him a little bit more.
I have Downs at 5.
Okay, he is like you don't hear him not in top 5. Usually it's top 3. He's virtually a top 3 player for almost anyone, and anybody that has him lower than that is kind of like, no, he's skillfully top 3. It's just his positional value. Like I imagine that's kind of your take.
Yeah, for sure.
So Downs is one of my favorite players in this draft because he's one of the best. Like, well, it's funny. He was only at Alabama for a year, but he is like in Alabama's defensive players history because he led the team in tackles as a freshman, which had never been done before.
That's
he Saban was still there. That's the reason he transferred. He came in, once again, these young players came in as a freshman on Alabama's defense and was debatably the best player on that defense. On Alabama's defense, a Nick Saban-led defense, as a freshman, like, I have no doubt in my mind this guy can handle the next level. No doubt in my mind.
No doubt.
He is elite. He's still only 21 years old. I mean, he, like, dominated at Bama and then was like, I'm going to transfer to Ohio State because Saban's gone. And then he won a natty there as probably the best player on their defense. He literally the captain, I have not the captain, but the general of the defense. I mean, honestly, probably the general of the whole damn team.
Oh, yeah.
And then, he just had, like, it's funny because Downs is, like, such a safe player, funnily enough, like, safety, that, like, he doesn't really have, like, I mean, yes, he has highlights in a sense, but, like, he's just so consistently clean that you don't hear his name, like, a ton throughout the season. Like, because, like, in Ohio State, you're talking about Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, but this guy's the glue that holds them all together. Like, the reason that some of these guys can do what they can do is because Caleb Downs is sitting in the middle of the field.
Yep.
And, like, you're not worried about blitzing all these guys or having them, do all these weird alignments because Caleb Downs is back there.
Well, dude, and the craziest thing is like, he's not prototypical size. He's not prototypical athleticism. He's just so smart. He's so smart, and he's so, like, his reaction time and play recognition is unreal. Mm-hmm. Like that dude has to live in the film room.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Nuts.
No, that's something I noticed. Ohio State players, man, they are all so smart. Like Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs. I mean, I'm sure that just comes with being, like, an elite player at these top-end talent, like, teams. But, yeah, he is, like, dude, it's like he can see the future, like, genuinely. He is that smart. And then he fucking crashes down on these plays and annihilates guys. Like, you would think he's like 230 the way he hits some of these guys. It's scary. Yeah, he can do everything. Like, he can play in the box. He can play in the slide. He can play a free safety. Really good against the run. Really good against screen.
Can I talk about? Yeah, like he had 20 plus snaps in 6 different positions, bro.
Yeah.
He had 44 snaps on the D line
as a blitzer. Yeah.
He had 44 snaps on D line. 141 box snaps, 146 slot snaps, 240 free safety snaps, and then for special teams, he had 22 return snaps, and he had 26 field goal / extra point block snaps. Like, this dude literally does everything on the field, bro. It is actually ridiculous.
One thing I like to think about with Downs is he kind of reminds me of Travis Hunter in a sense where these guys won't blow your mind with their testing. Their 40 isn't going to be out of this world. Vertical isn't going to be out of this world. Like, they're not going to be elite testing guys, but, like, they're elite football athletes, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, they have everything they need to play football. Yes, like, you hear a lot of arguments about, like, 40 isn't translatable, like, just because you run fast. And there's, like, kind of some truth to that, kind of some not. But, like, everything you need to be, like, the lateral, the side-to-side, like, kind of, like, the juke step, like, the balance of it. Like, these guys are, like, sneaky. Like, you know what? The way I think about it is these guys are probably, like, really good at doing, like, Pilates. Like, that weird shit that, like, most people don't do, But, like, when they do it, they're, like, elite at it. Because, man, it's like, I mean, let's be real. He doesn't, like, wow you with any, like, juice he has. Like, he's not that big. He's not, like, super strong. He's not, like, I would imagine he doesn't have a really high 40 or a vertical. But he's just so good at, like, everything he needs to do that it doesn't really matter, to be honest. But, yeah, he is, like, the top 3 player for me, debatably one. So smart. I mean, like, Ohio State had the best defense in college football this year by far, and he's the best player on it. So, well, him or Sonny Styles, but either.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like, to be made that Sonny Styles benefits from... Because Sonny Styles doesn't really have to drop back in coverage a ton, kind of because this guy's right behind him.
That's true.
And Caleb Downs was very good at Bama without Sonny Styles. So, there's that conversation to be had. But I don't really have anything else to say, man. He's just really, really good. Whatever team drafts him is going to have a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a stud.
6.7 yards per reception in 2025. I had to write that down.
You know what's funny is I just saw a report from one of the, like, Insider Vikings posts I follow where, he's kind of projected to go from, like, 8 to 12 just because of positional value.
Right.
But, like, if he falls 10, 11, like I saw some this account said that the Vikings would be willing to move up from 18 to like 10 or 11 to draft Caleb Downs, and that would be fucking, oh my god, him and Brian Flores' defense would be insane. And I actually think we could do that. Like we wouldn't have to give up that much to trade up to 10 because this is kind of a weaker draft.
Yeah, that'd be worse than 9/11. Dorm couch on draft day.
And then we draft Dylan Thieneman over him.
Trade up and draft Dylan Thieneman.
I mean, funnily enough, his draft story-wise, like, very interesting because I think there is a chance he falls to, like, 10. Bengals are 10, right? And then 11 are the Dolphins, correct? And then 12 is Cowboys.
There's zero chance he falls past there.
So if he will now fall past the Cowboys at bare minimum. If the Cowboys are at 12 and he is there, they will take him. However, I could see, because of the positional value that he brings, just being a safety, where he also, like I've said this, like a lot of people think he's Kyle Hamilton. I don't think he played the Kyle Hamilton role because he's not as big and he's not as long, straight up.
No, he's a completely different.
If he's at 10 to the Bengals or 11 to the Dolphins, those teams are both really bad roster-wise. You're telling me they're not trading down?
Yeah.
If someone offers them, like I could see him going to a team no one's even thinking of because someone trades up to get him.
I think he's probably, of any player, he might be the most susceptible to being traded up
like
for.
Like a trade up? Because, like, I mean, like, I could see Harbaugh on the Giants being like, I want this guy. Like, I'm going to pick someone at 5 or whatever, and then I'm going to trade back up for him. I could see the Ravens, they're at 14, trading up a little bit for him. Like, there's a ton of teams. Maybe the Cowboys literally jump one spot to make sure nobody else can.
Imagine Kyle Hamilton and Caleb Downs on the same secondary, bro.
Exactly.
My God, bro.
I think there's a ton of teams that are like, dude, because, like, let's be real, any team that's picking from, like, 13 to, like, 25, what would they have to give up to jump to 10 or 11? Like, a third?
Probably not a lot, honestly.
Dude, that's worth it for Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is all, like, bullshit and he gets drafted, like, top 5, and we're like, well, that was stupid to think he dropped to 10. But, like, he is projected to, that's kind of his range in this draft, so that's really intriguing to me because you have to think he's, like, virtually the number 1 player on, like, 90% of teams' big boards. You're telling me they're not trading up for him for an extra third or whatever if he's at 10 or 11? Like, if I'm the Vikings GM, I'm doing that. So, I mean, we'll see. He's just a super intriguing player, but, man, he's just going to raise the floor of the defense he's drafted to, like, instantly. And I think that's why you see him going to, like, the Bengals or the Cowboys or the Dolphins because they need that player desperately.
For sure, yeah.
But anything else with Caleb Downs? Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to say, honestly.
I don't have anything else. He's amazing. That's pretty much it.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, unless you have anything else to say, we went through our top 8 safeties.
Do we want to recap? I have a thing that I have a overlay that we can recap quick. So if you wanna do your top 8, run through those again.
Yeah. So I have 8 was Genesis Smith from Arizona. 7 was Kamari Ramsey from USC. 6 was Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo. 5 was Jalen Husky from Maryland. 4 was AJ Halsey from LSU. 3 was 4 was Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina. 3 was AJ Halsey from LSU. 2 was Dylan Thieneman from Oregon, and 1 was Caleb Downs from Ohio State University.
Yep. And then for me, I just had the top 10 because I did my 2 honorable mentions. At 10, I had Bud Clark from TCU. 9, Genesis Smith from Arizona. 8, Kamari Ramsey from USC. 7 was Traden Stoops from Arizona. 6 was AJ Halsey from LSU. 5 was Cole Wisniewski from Texas Tech. 4, Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina. 3 was Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo. 2, Dylan Thieneman from Oregon, and 1, Caleb Downs from Ohio State. So those are our top 8/10 safeties in the 2026 NFL draft class. It's been a great conversation. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we will try and we'll discuss this after the video. We will try and get a video out probably this weekend, but we're going to talk about that. But either way, thank you guys for tuning in. It was great conversation and it's a pretty solid group in the draft. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, man.
Yeah, this is the Neutral Zone, and we're signing off. Thank you guys.